My name is Matt Lewis, and I'm a math instructor at Yakima Valley Community College in Yakima, Washington. And my goal for this video today is to give you a quick overview of how we are implementing a competency-based learning model in our arithmetic curriculum, and how we've also made it available for our pre-algebra curriculum, and how we use WAMAP to facilitate that. So let me begin by opening up WAMAP under a fake student account I've created so that you can see what this looks like to a student. So the first thing you'll notice here is that there are a total of 8 chapters, and each of these chapters correspond to a chapter in the textbook we use for arithmetic and for pre-algebra. And the idea is that each of these chapters contain a number of modules that students work through, and they need to show competency in each of those modules in order to be allowed to take the test. So rather than in a traditional classroom where we schedule the test on a particular day and students take it whether they're ready or not, we make students show competency in individual sections before they can take that chapter test. To give you an idea of what these chapters look like, let's use chapter 3 as an example. So this is what the chapter looks like to the student. Each of these bars is a particular section that they go through. And so let me start as an example with section 3.6. So this is what the students see. So first of all, there's a block of videos here, and they're videos that we've created in kind of the Khan Academy style, where writing appears on the screen and students hear the instructor's voice but don't necessarily see the instructor. And in this particular section, we have 5 different videos. So see, these are essentially videos of what your typical lecture might look like for that section of the material, but we have it broken up into kind of smaller bite-sized chunks. So they can take a look at this ahead of time before they even begin the modules if they'd like, to get acquainted with the material. And then the first thing that they take is a challenge quiz. And so this challenge quiz is timed, and I'll just show you what this looks like. It's a timed quiz, usually not very many questions, and they go through and just answer 5 questions. And if they're able to answer all 5 of these questions correctly, then they don't have to do anything else for this section, because we kind of throw our some of our more difficult problems into this challenge quiz. And so if a student gets 100%, we feel confident that they know the material well enough to move on. So it gives students an opportunity to move through the material faster and then potentially get through multiple classes in a single quarter if they're really diligent. Of course, the majority of students do not get this challenge quiz with 100% in their first try. Let me just submit here and see a summary of scores. Of course, I didn't do very well at all there because I didn't try anything. But it will tell students their score, and anything less than 100%, they have to keep working. If they get 100%, they get to just move on to the next section. But when they don't pass, then what they do is they open up this assignments block. And the first thing they see is just one individual lesson/assignment. And so when they open this thing, they'll see usually a video or 2. I believe this one has 2 videos. You can kind of see the style of our videos here. And we host these videos on YouTube, but they are embedded directly into WAMAP, so students do not have to leave the WAMAP site in order to view these videos. So they watch their videos, and then there's just a few follow-up questions for them to answer that pertain directly to those videos. And so they go through and answer these. So they should get 4/35 for that one. Okay. And a couple things I want you to notice is that after they answer it, of course they got this one correct, so they don't really need to see the answer, but it shows the answer, and on many of our questions it also shows a detailed solution. So this shows how it is I'm getting to this answer of 4/35. Since I got it right, I get to move on to the next question, but suppose I get this one wrong. Suppose I think it's 1. Okay. Then what's going to happen here is it's going to say, well, no, it's not 1. but here's what the answer is. It's 4, and this is how we got to the answer 4. And hopefully from that I can look at the question and realize what it is that I did wrong. And at that point, as a student, I click try a similar question. And let's see if I can do this quickly in my head here. This should give me 2. Okay, gives me another chance to get it right. And once I get it right, I get to move on to the next question. And this here, we should get -7 thirds. All right, so I've answered all 3 of these correctly. So now I'm finished. So I can click summary, see a summary of my scores. I'm all done, and I can return to the course page, and now notice that another practice has just appeared. And so students progress through this way. Every time they complete a short lesson, another lesson appears for them. And they continue with this until they get to something that does not say practice, but rather says exercises. And I'll show you what that looks like in the next one here. So section 3.7, I've gone ahead and completed these 3 practices, and then this thing shows up, section 3.7 exercises. And the exercises are kind of like their long homework assignment for the section. So this particular one has 20 questions included with it. And so they complete this, and once that's complete, then they are done with the section. And in the section 3.8, I've done all of that ahead of time so you can see what happens once they've completed all their practices and the exercises. Then it gives them this nice message that says, congratulations, you've completed 3.8. And so students just progress through this way until they get down to the end. Once they finish all the modules, a chapter review pops up, and then once they finish the chapter review, a chapter test pops up. Of course, we have the chapter test locked down with a password, so if they happen to have the test come up at home the night before, they won't be able to take the test. They'll have to come into class the next day and take it in class. And students go through the different chapters in this way, and that's how our students progress. And so it gives students the opportunity to, we kind of are careful about the words going at your own pace because we don't want students to think they should be going slower, but we have had many students go much faster and complete multiple classes in a quarter. A couple other things just to say about using WAMAP in general and specifically in this way is that because everything's open source, we've been able to take a lot of ideas from other schools. So, there's been times where we haven't been happy with the way a certain part of our class was working. And so not only can we talk to other colleagues from other schools, but we can also look at their courses through the WAMAP system. And so we've been able to look at some of our neighboring schools and say, okay, how do they implement a similar course? What does their WAMAP course physically look like? And we can go in through WAMAP, take a look at it, and if we see some features that could be useful for us, we can use those. The other thing I'll point out is that and I'm going to log in as myself now, is that our questions that we've created that have all these detailed solutions are available. If you go to questions and just go to question libraries, and if you open up textbook specific questions, Mayo pre-algebra and Mayo arithmetic are where we have all of those questions that we've created detailed solutions for. So whether you're implementing a class similar to what we're doing, or if you're just wanting good questions that have some guidance for students, you can find those here on WAMAP. So again, if you would like to ask me any further questions about what I've presented today, here's my contact information, and I would be happy to speak with you. Thank you for your time.